We're midway through the tournament. It's been absolutely sensational, and RCB have been absolutely awesome, and loving everything what they're doing at the moment. And I think they're on the verge of troubling the top teams, and they might win it for this year. But if you want to join me as a special guest, get on with Google Forms. That would be absolutely great. Get your questions in there. I know Anupam's already got on there. Thanks very much for joining us, Anupam. So we'll get to your questions live, but we're going to get the special guests as well. But there was a game last night, RCB taking on Rajasthan Royals, my home team, and I just thought this was an absolute great game. But Rajasthan Royals, what were they thinking? That middle order, they just did not perform under pressure. Parag was okay, but he only scored 22. But Jarrell, he was just too slow. When you are chasing a big total, you've got to keep the momentum going. You can't leave it to the right end. Yes, they were still in the run chase out the back end, but they just left it too late and left too much to do out the back end. But there were some great performances last night. The first one was Jaswell. The one thing that I like about him, 49 off limited deliveries, he went for a strike rate of over 200. He was going after the bowling from ball one. The only thing that I don't really like about his game is when he does go after the bowling, he tries to overhit and he leans back a little bit. He's a bit better than that. He's got a better technique. He's got to trust that technique and play the percentages a little bit better, because I just think there's too much risk there too early, not playing cricketing shots. And there were a number of times where he was lucky where he could have got out early. So, Mr. Jaswell, I think you just might have to change your technique a little bit, because this batting order of Rajasthan Royals needs you to bat a lot deeper than what you are at the present moment, especially with Sanju Samson not being available at the present moment. Who's the next one we're going to talk about? Jofra Archer. How good was he last night, especially to Salt and Virat Kohli? Just sheer pace, hitting that good length and hitting a good line. Virat Kohli, Phil Salt were trying to go after him. They were trying to put the ascendancy on Jofra Archer, but he was just too quick last night. But he was sensational, and he's just starting to find his feet. But it might be a little bit too late for Rajasthan Royals now, because where they're on out the ladder, they're at the bottom of the ladder, and there's not too many games left. And I think they are definitely the first team out of the competition at the present moment. But Jofra Archer was sensational. And the thing that I liked about it, he kept it nice and simple, kept those hard lengths. Very rarely did he go to the slower ball in those power play overs. He's got to keep that pace up and hit those hard lengths. And we've got one more guy that we're going to talk about from last night as well. Another bowler coming up. AK, can you flick it over? This is Josh Hazlewood. Yes, he bowled sensationally in the back end the last couple of overs, getting some crucial wickets there and going for less than, only a couple of runs in that second last over to help seal the deal for RCB. But the thing I like about Josh Hazlewood and the thing that I like about Jofra Archer is that they use their assets well. Archer, a lot quicker, has got that height, but Hazlewood has got a little bit of extra height than the Archer, but not quite as quick, but he gets that extra bounce as well. And they hit those hard lengths, they hit those hard lines, they keep it nice and simple. And I remember seeing a quote from Courtney Walsh. He said, the thing is, when you're bowling, you've got to find that length as quick as possible. And when you find that length that's troubling the opposition batsman, you stick to that particular length. And this is what these two bowlers do. And when they're applying that pressure and keeping the same pace, keeping the same length, the bowlers out the other end who aren't as potent with pace or bounce can use the change-ups, and those change-ups become more effective in those other overs. So that's how you work together as a team. So well done to those three players. And also Virat Kohli last night was absolutely sensational with his 50. He's coming of age. But RCB fans out there, one thing that I liked about the last couple of games is they made some changes, some crucial changes get rid of Livingston and bring in Shepherd, the pacey all-rounder who can have that big hitting explosiveness out the back end of a batting innings, and they've given more responsibility to Tim David going up the order. And I think that's crucial as well, because Tim David, if he gets opportunities against spin in those middle overs, he can absolutely dominate there in that particular position. But you saw Tim David facing Jofra Archer last night. He doesn't really like that extra pace as well. Most batsmen don't. They don't. Now, have we got any more talking points, AK? Or are we up to the game tonight? CSK taking on SRH. This is a must-win. This is a knockout game for both teams. Now, for me, I think SRH should dominate CSK tonight, but we're at Chennai's home ground, and CSK don't really have much depth in their spin department. That's probably the downfall. And, I mean, SRH don't have much depth in their spin department. CSK do. That's the advantage with CSK. But I think CSK's batting at the moment is ordinary. And they just haven't found the right formula. They've had a few injuries as well. Shubham Dubey, who's been their best batter, has got a strike rate of less than 150, which is not good enough. You need your highest run scorer to be going out more than that. If you look at all the other teams that are dominating this IPL, they've got high strike rates. So for me, CSK in a lot of trouble tonight. We've got a couple of talking points with CSK and SRH tonight. These two here. Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head. Yes, Abhishek Sharma has made 100. Travis Head has made a couple of 60s, but last year they were dominating out the top order and not lessening the pressure in that middle order. But this year they haven't fired. And the last couple of games, both of them are trying to overhit the ball. Travis Head, the way that he got out in the last game, he was leaning back. The body was around before he made contact with the ball. When he's in song, he's still side on when he's making contact with the ball, trying to go over the offside or hit straight, and that's when he's at his best. So he's under pressure at the moment. Same with Abhishek Sharma. He was trying to overhit the ball. He was through, his body was through the line before the bat made the contact. He wasn't in good position. So these two have got to relax, try and take a little bit of time tonight, take a couple of overs, get used to the conditions, and then when they're going after the bowling, look for timing rather than overhitting, and gradually they'll find their form again. These two are crucial tonight. The next talking point, please, AK. Yes, MS Stoney made a bit of a statement. If they don't win, well, we've got to look for next year, make sure we get the right 11. Well, out the auction, you should have had the right 11. This year, you've had a couple of injuries as well. You've picked the right team for your conditions out CSK, but you haven't adapted to those conditions. Other teams have adapted better than CSK. And normally when CSK are at their best, they control their home ground, and they haven't done that this year. So for me, I think that's the right move. CSK looking for their best 11 for next year. That's all they can do. I don't think they're going to have a good time with it tonight against SRH. And I think both of these teams actually are out of the competition, but it is a must win. Whoever wins this night is still hanging on. This game tonight is still hanging on to their season by a very thin string. They're on thin ice, both teams. Okay. Let's move on. This is the points table, and what I love about the points table is that GT are out the top. Delhi Capitals are number 2, RCB are 3, and they are 3 teams that have had, well, GT hasn't had much time in the IPL, but they've had a lot of success. But Delhi Capitals and RCB are giving themselves an opportunity to get in a position to win the tournament finally. Throughout their history in this particular tournament. The Mumbai Indians, what I love about them is they've just shown how quickly things can turn around very quickly. Once you get a little bit of momentum and you keep that momentum going and your players start to find a little bit of form, anything can happen. And they're starting to look dangerous out at the present moment. And they've got very good balance with Bolt and Boomerang in their attack, also using Chahal with the swing in the swing department and spin depth, but also batting depth. Surya Kumar Yadav finding a little bit of touch. He is sensational. And I'm just going to mention about Rickleton as well. Rickleton, look at him behind the stumps. every now and then there's a little bit of an Adam Gilchrist look-alike, both the way that he takes the ball, but also in the facial features. And watching with the bat as well, when you look through that helmet, the facial features of Rickleton looks like Adam Gilchrist. That's what I have noticed. Okay, let's get on to the show with our special guests, Arun and Anirudh, with us. Both of them are for Chennai. But Arun, how are you going? You go for GT.
Yeah, of course. I believe they got the best team so far in the park. They're so confident right from the outset. The openers, they're delivering almost every time they get to the crease,
Yep.
and equally backed up by middle order. They have a very strong bowling lineup to even defend a total of 150. So they look to me a strong unit collectively. They're playing well as a team. That's important, I believe, in this short format.
Yep. Oh, definitely. I do agree with you totally there. The only one thing that I do worry about is their middle order when it comes to the back end of the season. If they lose early wickets, they could be exposed under pressure. While things are going well, yes, they can come out, play with that freedom and get away with a few shots, but I just worry about that middle order under pressure. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. But so far, the top order has contributed heavily,
Yep.
not letting the middle order to getting exposed to any opponents so far. That's what I believe.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, go for it. All right, we'll better get Anirudh into the show as well. Anirudh, how are you going? You're from Chennai
Hi.
as well. Both of you from Chennai.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Hi, hi. How are you doing? Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I'm going very
yeah,
well, mate.
I'm from Chennai. I support CSK as always, but things not going too well. But I have a second favorite this season. I have Delhi Capital, Gujarat Titans obviously, but I love Delhi Capitals team. They've been fantastic as well. Some of the KL Rahul has been brilliant this season. Karun Nair has surprised us last 4 games, outstanding. Just came out of nowhere and he played his shot so confidently. I really enjoyed that. Of course, they had their opening issues, but Abhishek Purel has been fantastic as well
Yeah.
lately.
Oh, I've
And
been really
Mitchell
impressed with
Stark with
Parral.
his
Yeah.
yeah.
Parral I've been really impressed with. And Karan Nair, who played for Chennai Super Kings for a while, didn't he? It was in that squad down there.
No, Karun did not.
No, where
He
was
was
Karan?
not.
Who was he with before then?
Karun was at RCB a while. Karun was with
Yep.
RCB for a while in 2016-17. He went to Punjab, he went to Rajasthan. He's done quite a circle.
Yeah.
I think he went to KKR as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. And look, he's got plenty of ability, and it's good that he's come out and got another second win, should I say, and really performing well there. I'm pretty sure I thought I saw him in the yellow about 10, 15 years ago, but yeah, no, you've corrected me there, which is good because you're an umpire and you're going to be testing me a little bit later with some dodgy questions as well. Once we get through some cricketing questions tonight. Before we start, Anupam has come on. Which team will have the upper hand in tonight's contest between CSK and SRH? I think SRH are definitely going to have the upside tonight. I just think they've got a better bowling attack and better batting depth at the moment, even though they haven't been performing. And he's also brought up Nathan Ellis. Should he get a chance tonight instead of Paddy Rana? I think Nathan Ellis probably should get a go. I think he's got some great variety. You can use him in the different phases of the game. And things haven't been working at this stage. So if you want to make that change, make that change. And if you're looking out for an 11 for next year and you're looking for depth, well, what about give Nathan Ellis a go and see what he can do on that Chennai wicket? Right. Okay. Arun, you start us off. You can start off with the first question for us now. Well, these are going to be tough questions.
Okay, just a second.
while you're looking for that. Jeff the Roll, thanks very much. Big fan from India. Joking King, hey Hoggy, how RCB can qualify in top two and change the percentage. They've got to win their final games at home to be able to get in that top two. What do you think went wrong with SRH this season, especially after going so well last year? This is VB. Basically, SRH, they've got a team that goes after the bowling. They go hard at it. And when you go hard like that and you can't change the pace and change the way that you go, you are going to have your down times. And at the moment, SRH have had their down times. But they have a team that can win the IPL over the next 3 years. This year, they're probably out of it right now, but watch out for them in the next couple of years. Now, Arun, have you got a question?
Yeah, Hoggy. Here go my question. First question. Now, having seen in almost all the games so far this season, the crowd has been absolutely fantastic. No, almost all the stadiums are jam-packed to capacity. My question here is like what we had in SA20. No, for a crowd, they set up some reward for their catching skills. Why can't we have that same thing here in India for this IPL? This is a mega tournament, right? So
Yep.
you can even make the crowd rich, right? Like what they do with SA20. Even
Yep.
not to the extent of the reward they got in SA20, but at least because the crowd here in India is religious, so religious when it comes to cricket, right? So it's high time. I feel that they need to be supported, just to show their skills as well. Who knows? One day, one of them could be on the park, right?
Yep.
So
I totally agree with you. I think the more that you can have fan interaction, the better it is. And look, fielding is one of the best components of our game of cricket, whether it's ground fielding or catching. And as we've seen out the IPL so far this year, the players can't catch. So it looks as though it is difficult for catching over there in this year's IPL, and the crowd are taking some sensational catches. So I think they should be able to have a reward there for all the fans there with the catching. And I think they have a tier of awards as well, because it is a mega tournament. If it's a simple catch where they catch with two hands, they get whatever it is, 1,000 rupee. If they catch with one hand, they can get 10,000 rupee. And if they've caught it, where it's an absolute a classic catch where they've had to reach for it and maybe dive over a couple of fans as well, give them a reward of 50,000 rupee or something like that. I totally agree with you. There is no shortage of funds for the BCCI to hand out there with the fans. And I think that is a great concept as well.
And to add to my point, I just want to, because these days a lot of sixes being hit, landing almost even the misses landing in crowd, right? So that will encourage them to be, even more cheerful. Because at the end of the day, only the crowd support really egging the players to perform. So that's why I believe this concept should be in place in India.
Definitely. And I think, Chennai Super Kings fans wouldn't be too happy about the reward coming in now, because Chennai aren't hitting too many sixes this year. Sorry about that, both of you from Chennai, but we've got to have a little bit of cheeky there. And all right, what have you got for us, mate?
I have a question, which is, you almost led me onto that, so I think I'll shoot about catching. This is the question. You see a lot of catches going down this year. Sure, the sitters, you can still make up for it. You can take ground fielding will always make up for it later. But why are there so many skyscraper catches, which mean the ones that go really high? Why are they being dropped? Is it a technical issue? Are fielders getting something wrong? Is there something that can be done to rectify this?
Yeah, look, for me, I think it comes down to preparation. Fielders should not be dropping those type of catches. They're all athletes. They've all been cricketers for a long period of time, and fielding is one of the biggest aspects of the game where you actually work together as a team. You know that if you drop catches, it is a crucial moment of the game, especially when you're dropping top order batters. So for me, I think it comes down to practice. It comes down to preparation. And I think when you get to the ground, if you haven't been able to get there and practice the day before, try and take a few catches out different parts of the ground where you'll probably be fielding for that particular game. But don't take the catches where it just comes to you. Make sure you get the ball hit into the line so that if you lose it, you work out where you've got to stand and where you've got to take that particular catch. I'll give you an example. I dropped the catch here in Perth when I was playing for the Melbourne Renegades. It looked like it was a very simple catch, but I was down out deep third man, and it was a top edge that came down, and the whacker lights are fairly big. So it's a big box of light, and the ball was right in the middle. I could not see it, but I knew from all my time out the whacker that it was going to be in front of me somewhere. It's going to land in a 5 metre circle. So I got into that position, and then it gradually came out of the lights out the back end, and I had to dive a couple of metres in front of me. And I should have taken the catch with all the experience that I had behind, but I didn't take that catch. So you know, I was upset that I dropped that particular catch, but it's that preparation. You know that you're going to be fielding there. You know that there's going to be a light there. You know that the ball has a huge chance of going into that light, so practice that. But also hit it up in the air as well. Try and get used to the dark sky as well if you possibly can. So make sure you adjust to those conditions as quickly as possible. I think with the way that T20 tournaments are being played at the present moment, I think players are more worried about their bowling, more worried about their batting, and fielding takes a second precedent as such. So for me, I think the coaches have got to get on top of that and make sure players do spend a bit of time out there, even if it's just 5 minutes. Spend a bit of time out there trying to get used to the conditions. It's as simple as that for me. Yeah, it comes down to preparation. Now, Arun, you've got another question there for me?
Yeah. My second one here is like, we live in an era of DRS when it comes to cricket, right? So with that in place, do you see it's really disappointing to see batsmen walking off on the assumption that he nicked it? But when he get there to the dressing room, he was so frustrated. You know, what's happened in the middle? Actually, what would be the state of mind for the teammates? I mean, captain, coach. Just imagine the amount of pressure they would have, because the team already is in doldrums, not getting off to a good start. But knowing that every technology is there in place, even umpire got confused. It was the first time I saw that umpire was not quite clear on what they need to do. He just raised his finger just out of nowhere. So does it make sense? Does it make sense that to batsmen to go walk up? See, to be genuine is fine, but too genuine is with the technology around. Do you think it's really advisable on the part of batsmen to go like this?
Well, at the end of the day, what you try and do, you sit there, and if it's gone down leg side, you wait for the opposition to appeal for a start. And if the umpire gives you not out, then the fielding team have to think, right, do I use my review now or do I save it till later? I could not believe that Ishan Kishan walked off the other night. And I can't believe that Abhishek Sharma at the other end, who would have heard nothing, didn't do anything about it as well. And I mentioned in a 1-minute vlog yesterday about Ishan Kishan walking through the Mumbai Indians as well with a smile on his face. I'm just thinking, this is not good. You are a professional cricketer. You want to play for India. You want to make sure you make the best living out of it as possible. And this is a big moment in your career, but also in Sunrisers Hyderabad's position in the tournament as well. It was just a bizarre moment of events. But the other thing there, and Anurad is an umpire as well, and umpiring is tough, and we've got to be grateful for the umpires out there standing. But the umpires are getting paid pretty well for IPL cricket. And I can't believe that he was raising his finger before there was an appeal. So, and I don't know, I still can't find any footage of Ishan Kishan walking off or walking back to his ground as well, because I know that there was an Australian cricketer, and I'm not going to mention his name, but in a World Cup, you can figure this one out. In a World Cup, he walked off thinking that the umpire had actually given him out when he didn't. So, you know, for me, you have so much luck, and you have decisions that go for you, decisions that go against you in cricket. When there's an opportunity for one to go for you, you stand there and take your ground. It's as simple as that. So for me, I was surprised with technology that Ishan Kishan walked off the other night, and it was quite disappointing. So Anurad, you what do you think about it? You can get stuck into me here.
Actually,
being an umpire yourself.
No, because the other day I saw that, and during the replay there were a visual that showed the umpire's right hand go, which would have meant that he was signaling a wide. And then at that point he withdrew his hand, and he was holding it up like this, and he was so confused because he saw Ishan walking off. So I guess he was going to show wide, and then Ishan just walked off, and I'm not sure what the umpire can exactly do at that point, because he just walked off. So as a player, I don't know what you would do. So exactly.
Well, if I was a player, I probably would have got reported. No, but if I was a player, I definitely would have gone upstairs or consulted my teammate out the other end. So the umpire looked as though he was totally confused out that stage. Because the keeper showed no emotion, the bowler showed no emotion until he saw the finger or until the umpire like that. And I don't know what Kishan was doing, which way he was walking or not, because some batsmen sometimes they just walk off and then walk back. So they take that step out the square leg, or they come down and look at the pitch and that. But I just it was bizarre circumstances. Now you've got another question as well.
Yeah. So my question is about Rajasthan's last 3 games. They had 9 from 1 over in the last 2 games, and then yesterday they had 18 from 2, which is basically the same required run rate, right? What prompts them to lose a game at such a stage? Is it a matter of confidence, or they could have built a team better probably, but is it a matter of confidence?
Yeah, look, I think it's a matter of confidence, but I also think that they haven't invested wisely. I would have kept Josh Butler in that particular squad instead of Parag. The reason being is Josh Butler's got that experience, and he's also got that composure. Parag is still learning his craft. Parag, although he's a good fielder, can bowl a bit, is still hit and miss with the batting. And I think Parag is probably better batting down the lower order as well. I also, and I'm going to be pretty tough on this one as well. There were a couple of runouts in that super over against Delhi Capitals. It was Delhi Capitals. It was out Delhi. Parag, it was a wide down leg side. A no ball. He didn't want to run. Hetmile ran down the other end. Both of them really want to have those big moments, and both of them wanted to be out that end. So that tells me that there's no communication between both players. It also tells me that both players are worried about their individual performance, probably more so than the team performance, which is a bit of a worry. So those are the things that I'd want to stamp out if I was in that Rajasthan Royals dugout. And it's really difficult because you're playing this T20 tournament. Individuals are getting a big pay out the auction. They want to make sure they make the most of the career, and you're chopping and changing your squads every 3 years with mega auctions in your IPL teams. So it's very hard to get that culture within that group in a short period of time. And I don't think Rajasthan have got that culture within their group at the present moment. It just seems as though there's too many individuals rather than players putting the team first at the present moment, and that's why they're not winning the close ones. I've been pretty tough on them, haven't I? I've mentioned a couple of names there, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. If I was in that coaching dugout, I'd pull those particular players aside and just go, what's going on here, and ask questions and try and get them in a position where they're putting the team first. They're leading from the front, and every team member, every squad member in an IPL team should treat themselves as a leader for themselves, the way that they train, and the leader how they help the team out. And that's the way it's been for the most successful teams I've been involved in. And I just don't think Rajasthan at the present moment have that true culture where everyone is buying into where they want to go in the next 2 to 3 years in this mega auction. So I think Rajasthan at the end of this tournament are going to sit there and go, right, are these players the players that we actually want in our squad? If not, we've got to move on and find some team players moving forward. So that's the way I'd see it. That's why it surprises me that they didn't stick with Butler. Butler puts team first. And you've got to have that. So that's where I stand with it. Bit tough. All right. Was I a bit tough there?
No, you are absolutely spot on. That's how it actually works. I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah. You've got another question?
You're asking me, Hoggy?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. It's once again pointing down to Butterfingers.
Yep.
Butterfingers, yeah. Like what a spinner, when he bowls a no ball, it's pretty much like a cardinal sin to see fielders dropping dollies. Absolutely. In any format of the game, dropping catches is absolutely will cost you the match, as we all know. Right? But this particular season, it's absolutely staggering to see out of 40 games, 111 catches been spilled for no reason. And most of them are high catches swirling in the air. But is it the lack of technique to find a solution to catch all this? I mean, swirling high-end catches? Is there any specific technique due to lack of which they are not able to make it?
Look, at the end of the day, it's just backing yourself and keeping your eye on the ball. I don't care whether you catch like that, but when you're catching in front of you, you got to make sure that your hands, when they meet the ball, are out eye level. So that means that you've watched the ball all the way into the hands. When you're catching down here, and you can't see my hands now, I'll stand up. But when you're catching down here, your eyes are off the ball. You've had to move your head down as such. So that's one part of the technique that I'm seeing, which is really been disappointing this year. But you can also catch like that, and catching like that is the Australian way. And when you catch like that, if you get it in the palm and it bubbles, you can still have a second chance at it. That's why we've been taught to catch like that in the outfield. You're up there with the slips catches when it's flat, bang, rather than trying to catch it like that, because you're controlling it, you're keeping it in front, and then if it bubbles, you can take it like that. But the other thing is too, when you're diving for catches and you're coming forward, these guys are athletes. They should have practiced this throughout their years. Through the better teams that I've been involved with, they're always trying to challenge themselves in the field. They're diving, making sure that they take those catches diving forward. They're diving to the left. They're diving to the right. They're really putting themselves under pressure situations in the field. And I go back to 2000, the period where Australia were dominant through those 2000s. The only reason why we were well ahead of India was because we were more athletic in the field. We'll challenge ourselves in the field, diving to our right, diving to our left, making sure we take those half chances. And that's what it's all about, getting in a position where you take those half chances. And when it's not a half chance, you should be taking 95% of those catches. Every now and then you are going to drop a dolly. There's no doubt about it. But there's just been too many dollies dropped in this particular tournament, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough for a high quality, entertaining tournament like the IPL.
Exactly. That's why I always like the Australian way of catching. When it comes to, I like this in slips. You will see them plucking it
Yep.
out of thin air. They will catch. No, even the sharpest of chances they won't miss. In the early 90s, I've seen Mark Watt taking some absolute blinders.
Yep.
So that technique should be in place.
Well, the other thing is too, when you're fielding in close, whether you're in slips or in the covers, the best fielders you're seeing those slightly crouched down, because when the ball gets hit hard to them out that midriff, they can either slightly go down a little further and take it like that, or if it's too low, then they can slightly stand up and take it as such with the low hands. So that's why you crouch low, because it's easier to come up than it is to go down. And I'm seeing too many fielders at the present moment standing too tall in the inner ring. They're not low enough. And when you get low as well, if the ball's going to your left and right, and you're in that crouch position, you've got more springboard to get off, to dive to your left, dive to your right, and cut off those balls that are going past you on the infield. And that separates the better fielders from the ordinary fielders. That's why Herschel Gibbs, for me, was the best fielder I've probably ever seen, because he read where the batsman was going to hit the ball. So before the batsman's actually hit it, Herschel Gibbs was already moving in a direction. He was already premeditating it, but he was also low to the ground as well. He was just sensational. And it's practice, practice, practice. And when you
that's why.
And when Anurad said, go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Anurad brought the question up as well. If players aren't prepared before the game before the game, it's their own fault. They should be out the IPL now, just spending 5 minutes getting used to the conditions because of the quick turnaround of the game and the different venues they play on. But they should have done all their fielding work before they've got here. So, you spend your time in the nets, bowling, batting, getting those skills done, but you should be spending at least 20 minutes doing your fielding training before you get over the IPL. So then when you get to the IPL, all it is top-ups and getting prepared for those conditions when you get to the conditions, when you arrive at a new condition. Simple as that.
I believe that it's really hard on the fielders as well, because they got to make a split-second decision whether to go forward or position themselves in such a way easy to catch. But still, I always believe anticipation and good reflexes are always the hallmark of a good fielder. Like what you said with Herschel Gibbs, they focused more on anticipation and reflexes, good reflexes, right?
Oh, exactly right. But it comes down to preparation. And, you brought up a good point there. Their reflexes, their timing. These guys in the IPL are elite athletes. So when you're training, you make sure you train harder than what you are going to be in the game. That's what all the best players do it. So you should be putting yourself under pressure in fielding training so that you're trying to make it harder than what it actually is going to be in the game. And once you do that, the game becomes easier. The game just becomes a bit of a reward for all your hard practice. You can't sit there and just do easy little catches like this and little catch like that, then go into the game and expect to take this diving catch forward when it comes to you. You can't do that. All the preparation comes 2 weeks, a month before the IPL starts. And basically, people say, oh, we've got all these heavy workloads and so forth. Well, you've got to work out your schedule so that you are prepared for the major tournaments that you're going to be playing in, and you've got to have all your skills up to date when you get there. And basically, when you get to the IPL, it should be just top-ups not trying to fix a skill or hone in a skill. It should be just a top up. I'm ready. I just got to get used to the conditions. If you're trying to catch up in the IPL, you don't deserve to be there. And
Exactly.
it just frustrates me. Frustrates me with a lack of preparation with some of these players in the T20 tournaments. You're either trying to dominate, you're either trying to be an elite athlete, or you're just trying to be to get to a standard where you can partake in the IPL. And I think a lot of these players are training just to be at a level where, all right, I'm comfortable. I'm getting a good gig here at the IPL. I know that I'm going to get picked up next year. I don't need to work any harder. But then you've got the likes of Virat Kohli who train to dominate the game. And that's what separates the best from the mediocre. It's a good point. I could ramble on about that all day. I could. Anurag, you've been quiet there. Now it's time for you to make a decision and ask me the next question. Anurag's an umpire in Chennai.
Right. So my next question is more about your experience in IPL as well. Right. One is what is it to? How has the culture of overseas cricketer changed in the IPL? And you, as your experience with under Dravid and under Gambhir, what kind of coaches were they? Both are greats in the game, right? In different formats of the game. So, what were dressing room conversations like with Dravid and Gambhir?
Look, that's a really good question. I think with overseas, I think while I was playing the IPL, the good thing about it was that you were able to mix with different players from around the globe. So you're mixing with South Africans, English, Sri Lankans, and also more just as importantly, the Indian players as well. So you're getting a mix of cultures in there. The things that I really loved when I was out Rajasthan and KKR is that we were trying to develop cultures in that particular time period where we were working together as a team. And it was great. We had Paddy Upton as the coach out at Rajasthan Royals, who was a psychologist who brought everyone together and made sure that there was plenty of team building. And I think that's why Rajasthan did pretty well through that particular period. Was he was more about getting the team together and getting that buy-in, so everyone would get down the training track and work together for each other, play for each other as well. So he created that good culture, and that's the same with KKR. But when it comes to Rahul Dravid and Gambia, we all know that Gambia can be hot-headed, and he can get quite aggressive with some of his comments, and he's very outspoken. And I like that about him. You know exactly where you sit within the team. He doesn't hold back. He has high expectations of you, and he's very aggressive with his field placings. He's very aggressive with the way that he wants his players to play. So I really enjoyed the way that Gautam Gambhir went about his business. He's a true leader. But he did it slightly different to Rahul Dravid, who was a little bit quieter in his approach as well. He's one that likes to sit behind the scenes a little bit. He will talk to you about what your plans are, and he'll be more. He will let you decide what to do more than what Gautam would do. Gautam wouldn't be would be quite on the front foot to come up and say, right, we need to make a change here in this particular moment of the game. I want you to be aggressive. We're going to do this. How do you feel about it? Yep. Whereas Rahul would let you more, leave you to your own devices a little bit more as such. But he'll be a lot better in the preparation side of things. Around the nets and everything like that, he'll be more talkative around the net and put hands around people and sort of just talk about the game in general a little bit differently than what Gautam would do. So he'll just have long conversations with you around the nets if you're not doing anything, or around the hotel as such, rather than being more direct. So they sort of had different leadership skills. And I think if they both were in the same dressing room together as coach and assistant coach, both of them would complement each other. And it would be a perfect mix for Indian cricket, because you've got the cool, calm, collect Rahul Dravid, and you've got the Gambia, who can sort of be a little bit aggressive sometimes. And I think you need that mix within the change room to be able to help each other out. I love playing under both of them. Absolutely love playing under both of them. And I love the different styles of leadership. And I think one thing with that, with kids out there that probably might be watching this or going into careers, you're going to be in environments with different personalities. You've got to be able to adapt to those different personalities, and you've got to learn to work with those different personalities. And that's what cricket's all about as well. That's what life's all about. Being able to mix and match with the different personalities, work out what makes other people tick, work out what makes you tick as well. If you know yourself, then all of a sudden, and you know your boundaries, then all of a sudden it's easier for you to work with other people that have different backgrounds and different personality traits than what you do. No one is the same. And that's what I loved about working with both Gautam and Rahul Dravid. So, yeah. All right.
So, I had initially asked about evolution of that overseas player. That's what I meant when I first asked. Like, how different would it have been from 2008 to now is also my thing.
2008 to now. I think from 2008 to now, when it was 2008, the IPL, it was more of a party atmosphere. No one knew where it was going to go. But now it's a lot more professional. And the party side of it has really died down a hell of a lot. But also you've got social media stuff as well. You've also got other scenarios on the backside of match fixing scandals as well. You don't know who you're meeting in public, so you've got to be very careful with that, especially in those environments over there in the IPL. So there's so much now where it's changed professionally. You've also got 10 teams in the tournament, so owners have got more ego involved in it as well. They want to make sure their teams are doing really well. And having the best chance of winning. You saw with Lucknow last year and Rahul having a bit of argy-bargy out in the middle and not having a strong relationship. So you can see that there's tension both on and off the field as well. So owners are taking it a lot more seriously as well and want success. So that's probably why the IPL has changed to a more professional format than what it was back in 2008. But then we're talking about catching. If I was the owners, I'd be in there, and whoever's got butted fingers, well, I'll be putting the hammer out there. Go back to the Viking days. If you're not going to pull your weight, you're going to put your fingers on that table. I'm going to smash them with a hammer if you don't practice your catching. So you can get down there. Now, Run, have you got another question? We better push it because we're coming to the end of time. It's been great.
Yeah, before that, I want to thank Anirudh to come up with a question of Rahul Dravid and Gambhir. They both are two different dimensions, like Rahul being rock solid and Gambhir always go bang bang, even with the decision making, whether it comes to batting or taking decisions. Like you said, it's always important to have a mix of everything so that you will have the essence of what it is to make a decision at the crunch time. That's a good point, actually. It's a very good question. I love it.
Well, it is. I'll just, and that's the thing. There's no two ways about it. What you just said there was perfect. Rahul probably more of a thinker, whereas Gautam Gambhir shoots from the hip as such as well. But when you're under pressure situations in the game of cricket, and when you're under pressure situations anywhere in life where you've got to make that quick decision, sometimes you just make the decision that's in front of you. And this is where Gautam Gambhir was really good. He didn't overthink that situation. What came to his mind first, that's the way we did it. Whether it was the right decision or the wrong decision, you're best off making the decision and being committed with it, whether it's the right or wrong decision. So let's say I'm bowling and I'm a little bit unsure how I'm going to go about this delivery to a certain batter. It's best for me to go, right, this is the ball I'm delivering. I've got to be committed to it. even if it's not the right ball for the situation, it's the ball that's in my mind. And if I give it 100% commitment, I'm going to get a better result than having 2 deliveries in my mind and not being committed to either of those deliveries. So it's a good point that you brought up there, Run.
Okay, my next question is about. I love the concept of power surge. Cricket, T20 cricket is already a power game, but I've seen keenly watched BBL. Almost, I'm watching for quite a time now.
Yep.
But the power surge in BBL, I could see flurry of wickets falling in power surge only, unlike what we have in the first power play. So that's a great. It actually gives the bowlers a chance to come back in the back end, right? So this is the kind of a batsman going bang bang. Even they started identifying a specific bowler for the power surge. So I believe that bringing that concept here in IPL will make it huge, even better. That will put both the batsman and bowler on an even keel. What do you say?
I totally agree. Would you? I think the power surge. I didn't agree with it when it first came out, but the more I've been involved with the BBL, the more I've absolutely loved it because you've just got a little bit of a unique change up to the contest. It makes a bit of difference, and it makes players think on their feet, which is great, and it makes players be adaptable. I think it's sensational. So I think the IPL have to bring it in moving forward. I think it should be in international cricket as well because it just becomes a bit boring just watching 6 overs and then all of a
Correct. Yeah.
sudden the field's out. They made the change to the one-day game where you had 4 fielders between 10 overs and 40 overs, then 5 fielders out for the last 10 overs. For me, I think, any little change like that for the betterment of the game, they've got to do it. And I think the IPL and the ICC and international T20s have to bring that rule in because it changes the dynamic and also adds a little bit of excitement in it as well, where, all right, who's going to bowl this over? How are we going to adapt and how are we going to adjust to it as well? I think it's a great concept. I also don't mind the impact player concept as well. I'm seeing a lot of teams through the IPL not utilise it effectively enough. They go to the impact player way too early, don't use all their resources, and then they've been found short out the back end. So I like the impact player as such because you want that more aggressive batting going after the bowling, but you also want to see the bowlers, how they adapt to the pressure as well. And to counteract that balance between bat and ball, make sure you keep bats out the right level and also wickets, the centre wicket, because you've got short boundaries over in the IPL, still favouring the bowler slightly more than the bat because miss hits still go for 6. So that's the concept that I'd like to see. I love that. I love that you've brought that up. And a run. Here you go. You got one more question?
One or two. So anyway, yeah. I'm just going to ask, at this point of the tournament, we're almost in the last half now. What happens, to different teams? What are the strategies that would have changed? Do strategies change from the first half to second half? And if so, what would it be in situations of teams at the top or in the middle who are not yet in the top 4 or teams at the bottom?
Yeah, I think you don't want to be mucking around with your 11 out at the present moment. If you've got a strong 11 out at the moment, don't change it. If anything, use your impact player as an opportunity to maybe give someone an opportunity that you think you might use in the playoffs out the back end. So just to make sure that your depth is still getting a little bit of game time. That's the only thing I'd actually do. But I'd also be looking at, are the wickets wearing down? And where are we going to be playing in the playoffs? Right, what do I have to do to have certain players ready for those particular venues? But when it comes to match day, I would not be changing anything I'd be doing out the present moment. I'd be keeping my same structures, making sure that each player's got their own role. maybe if I was looking at a Gujarat Titans team, I would be looking at maybe giving an opportunity to someone in the lower order who hasn't had much time out in the middle, bring them in a little bit earlier, just to give them a little bit more time out the middle with the bat. But other than that, I wouldn't be playing with my 11. Absolutely not.
Would you think it was a mistake of leaving out Miller last year?
Miller last year. Yeah, yep. I think Miller's.
Yeah, they left Miller.
Yep, I think Miller is a quality batter, and I think you need that lower order. So it's one of those things you can only keep certain amount of players in your auction. You want to be able to you want to be able to sit there and go, right, we might be able to get those particular players back when we go to the auction, but we want to make sure that we give ourselves option to get that quality team that we want moving forward. Are there better options out there at that present stage? That's what you'd be looking at as well. So for me, it's catch-22, but I think the biggest mistake in this year's auction would be Rajasthan Royals not maintaining Josh Butler. That's probably the worst mistake that that's probably the biggest boo-boo that's been made in the auction for me. Yeah. All right, you've got another question?
Yeah. India at the moment pretty much look like invincibles in the T20 format. They are playing absolutely fabulous cricket. Wherever they go, they're able to pull things up.
Yep.
But having seen these players like Padikkal, Jaiswal, Patidar, all looks to be technically pretty sound. Is this will help them to be a good test players for India in the future as well, with the help of IPL putting them into limelight?
Yeah, look, I think T20 cricket, going from T20 cricket to Test cricket is a little harder than going from Test cricket to T20 cricket. And I was over in Delhi about a month ago, and I was talking to some of the people that are involved with academies over there. And what we were finding was that academy kids that are going through with the old style, where they're developing that good foundation of being a good long-form cricketer, adapt well to T20 cricket because they've got that good foundation. But if you're just don't have that strong foundation for the longer form of the game and you're just concentrating on T20 cricket, well, there's a bit of hit and miss there. So you've got more chance of making it if you develop your game around that longer form. And that's the same with fast bowling as well. Because with fast bowling, you've got to learn how to work batsmen over. You've got to learn how to work them to get them out. And those fast bowlers that are just concentrating on T20 cricket from a young age don't have those particular skills because they don't play the longer format. They just think, well, I've got pace, I can blast them out. You look at Hazelwood and Archer in the last night's game. Two quality long-form bowlers who just hit a good length that were troubling quality batsmen out the other end. Jaswell hit Hazelwood for 3 fours off the last 3 balls of that particular over, but it was just a little bit of width that Hazelwood gave him for one of those deliveries and just missed his length and other delivery. But other than that, if Hazelwood was just able to hit that line and length, same line, same length for 6 balls in a row, Jaswell was moving all over the shop where he wasn't able to get on top of him. So for me, I think the longer format, you've got to have good foundation to be able to play T20 cricket, to be able to succeed in T20 cricket. I think the best batter I've seen in T20 cricket is probably Shaun Marsh. And he had that good foundation. He had the solidness, but he was able to hit off a length, hit straight, and play the percentages. When you can't play the percentages and you're taking higher risk to get those boundaries, you're always going to be in trouble. So, yeah. Actually,
I was totally amazed at the way Joe Root is a classic example of how to get a perfect transition from Test cricket to T20. In the last SA20 season, he was proving to be a pivotal for his team to get there. He almost scored, like he didn't look like a Test player getting into T20 format. Such is the beauty of the short format games, right?
Yep. No, that's definitely the beauty of it. Look, Joe Root, I've got great admiration for him because he's concentrated or focused on Test cricket, and he wanted to do so well at Test cricket, and he's sort of gone away from the short form of the game. But now at the back end of his career, he wants more opportunities in the short form, and he's just going to have to make a few adjustments to that technique. And he's smart enough to be able to do it. He's got a great foundation, and I think Kane Williams as well. He was having success in T20 cricket, but now the game's evolved a little bit, and they have Kane Williamson just wasn't able to adapt enough to be able to still stay relevant in the T20 game. So yeah, it's good having that foundation. But you still got to adapt and move on. And that's what Travis Head has done. That's what I've loved about Travis Head. Virat Kohli's doing it as well. He's finding a way. And I think if you can find a way to have a high average and score out a strike rate of around 150, 160 in IPL cricket, you're doing extremely well. And that's what I love about Satarasan from GT. Both of you like GT. That's what I like about him. He's got a good technique, but he's also has the ability to keep that technique and still get a reasonably high strike rate while staying out the crease for a long period of time. So he's probably one that I look forward to in the future. I actually like him more than Jaswal at the present moment because I think Jaswal tries to overhit the ball, whereas Satarasan's still trying to time the ball, and Satarasan's a lot younger as such in the world of cricket, but he knows that when he gets a little bit bigger, stronger, that timing's going to get better and he's going to find the boundary a lot easier. So well done to GT and well done to him for the progress that they're making with him, with his career. Good question. Anurag, you got one more question, haven't you, before you get stuck into me?
Okay. Right. Okay. I mean, I know Sai Sudarshan has been brilliant. He made his debut in the ODIs also for India. So anyway, that's not my question. My question is, I'll keep it very simple. In your playing days in the IPL, who was the batter who played you the best, or who was the batter who challenged you the most?
I think Sehwag, definitely. I was always a little bit nervous with bowling for Sehwag because you knew that he was going to go after you. And Kevin Peterson. Kevin Peterson, probably with his height and his ability, he was able to play. If you look at Klasan from Sunrisers Hyderabad, I'd love the opportunity to bowl against him because I think he's the best player to spin out the present moment in T20 cricket. The way that he's able to get on that back foot and hit you off a length, but then when you over pitch, he's able to sort of step out and smack you as well. So I'd be a little bit concerned bowling to him, but Kevin Peterson with his height, he would sweep you, knowing that you'd probably go a little bit short of next ball, then he'll crouch down and hit you off that slightly shorter length and play you as a 5'2" batsman as well, but still have that power. He just had great ability, great reach. He used his height to full effect. So those two batsmen were probably the ones that I feared most playing in the IPL. That's a good question. And now, I was feeling quite comfortable and happy before you asked that question. It's bringing me so many headaches back now when I was playing the IPL.
It must have been quite a thing to see both Sehwag and Peterson together, right? In the same team?
Yeah, it was. I'm glad I didn't have to bowl against both of them at the same time that I can remember. So, yeah, no, it's all good. Now, Run, have you got another question?
Right. Shoot my... Oh, sorry.
Hang on.
Arun, sorry.
Run?
No, you can go ahead. I'm done with my questions. You can go ahead.
All right. Now, Anurag, you've got some questions for me, haven't you?
Okay, yeah. I'll shoot.
You're going to challenge me. Yep, go for it.
Right. Okay. Now, you're a batter. You're standing upright at your crease. And according to the laws of the game, I'm not going into any playing conditions right here. According to the original MCC laws of the game, the ball passes over head height. what as an umpire, what do you call?
I call a no ball or a wide.
Yeah, it's a no ball. According to the
Yep,
laws, that's a no ball.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Right. So when a member of the fielding unit deliberately distracts or obstructs the batter while he is running on his crease, what are the actions that you would call as an umpire? What would happen? What are the things that are the what's the procedure that follows?
Well, you give 5 runs away. So the fielder gives 5 runs away, I think it is. But you also you'd probably report the player for a little bit of misconduct out in the middle.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Well, you can't send the player off, but you'll give a warning. You talk to the captain about it as well. Tell him to pull his head in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Have I missed a step?
There are a few more there are a few more things that so
Yep.
apparently that ball will not count as a part of the over, but the runs will go towards the batting side, whatever runs that have scored, and even if the batters have started running for the next run, even that run will score regardless where they are in their runs. And
Oh,
more
right.
importantly, more importantly, you cannot take a wicket of that ball. There cannot be a fall of wicket during that. So you cannot run him out if you stop him halfway through his crease.
Yep.
That will not be permitted.
Is the next ball a
So,
free hit as well?
it depends. If the ball was a no ball, then yes.
No, right.
I
Yep,
mean,
yep,
of course, it depends on the format as well. If it's a test, of
yep,
course, there's no free hit.
yep.
So yeah. Okay. So as far as foot position goes, there's a front foot no ball for the popping
Yep.
crease, and there's a back foot no ball for the return crease. But there's
Yep.
one more type of front foot no ball. Can you say what it is? Could you guess what it is?
Front foot no ball. Would that be landing on the other side of the stumps? If you're coming over the wicket, you
Yes.
landed on the other side of stumps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Across the middle stump, you cannot go beyond the imaginary line that between the two middle stumps.
2 middle stumps. Ooh. When I first started bowling
So
left
you
arm leg
cannot.
spinners,
Yeah.
yeah, I should have been called for a couple of no balls like that because I used to really block myself on. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So next, when the second innings or the final innings, depending on the format, is completed with 4 runs remaining for the batting side, 4 runs or less, between 4 runs or even 1 run, or even if it's a tie, and the wicket has fallen, right? But then a member of the fielding side damages the pitch, despite several warnings or maybe no warning, depending on the context. At this point, what happens to the result of the game?
If he's damaged the pitch, how has he
And
damaged
remember,
the
the
pitch?
batting side is all out.
Yeah, but
Something
has he
maybe
damaged the pitch?
while
Has he
celebrating, while he's celebrating, he's doing something. He damages the pitch. At this point, what would be the result of the game?
Well, if you're really going by the laws of the game, the team batting would actually win because the fielding side would get penalised 5 runs.
Yeah, but how would the statement of the result be? It would be win by.
It'll be won by the batting team by 1 run. Or
No,
by how
they'd be winning by penalty runs. They'll be winning by penalty runs.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
The
for
thing
that
is, you
to
cannot
happen,
win by wickets.
yeah. No, that's interesting. I never ever thought of that happening because once the game's finished, the game's finished. Oh, I've learned that. Yeah. No, that's an
And
interesting
in fact,
one.
you cannot. And I'll tell you, if this actually happens in a cricket game, it'll be as outrageous, or maybe probably the outrage by the audience will be as much as the Super Over win in the final, by the boundary count win in the World Cup final. If it
I'll
first
tell you what,
happens.
if I was an umpire making that decision, I'd make sure that we're off the ground first and then make the decision in the change rooms because there's no way that I'd be having that. I remember we played India in Bangalore back in 1996. Azharuddin stood out the crease when we got him out, and the crowd. So he stood there for about a minute, and then the crowd went off. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't run into the change rooms and I can't run off this field. We're in a bit of trouble here. Yeah, so there's a lot of passion out there. You definitely made that decision off the field, not on it.
Right. But it's extremely rare. I don't think it has ever happened even in a club match of any kind. So I don't think any umpire is going to worry about it unless they really want the bowling team or fielding team at some point.
Yeah, that would have been something that W.G. Grace would have done, probably. To win a game back in the day against Australia. Yeah.
Right. My final question to you is:
Yep.
Throughout the match, throughout the innings, a keeper has been standing close up to the stumps as he would against a spinner. All right.
Yep.
Now, in the last ball of the innings is happening, and the batter wants to, the keeper wants to protect any byes in case he misses it, and he decides to step as far back as, as if he were facing a pacer. What would you, as an umpire, what would you do?
So he's keeping to a spinner.
Throughout the innings, he's standing as close up to the stumps as you do to a spinner. But during the last ball of the innings, he stands as far back as he is, as if he were facing a pacer, only to prevent byes in case he misses it.
I'm pretty sure, as long as he's within the circle, he can stand anywhere behind the stumps that he wants to, as long as he's behind the stumps.
So, according to what I have learned, according to the laws, the keeper is not allowed to change position unless he is doing it for the full over, or he cannot just use one opportune moment to go back. If he does so, he is going to be warned by the umpire not to go back, and if the keeper still goes back, he will lose his privilege to be a wicket keeper at that point. So even wearing a glove will not do. So he's not allowed to wear a glove. He will lose his rights to being a wicket keeper. He's not allowed to go back just for one ball.
Yeah, but what happens if, let's say you're Sir Garfield Sobers, you bowl a couple of spinners and then you go back to bowling medium pace?
It depends. If the bowler is bowling pace, if he changes, that's one thing. But if the keeper is doing it just to prevent byes and he goes all the way back just for that one ball and facing a spinner, he is not allowed to do that. He will be told by the umpire. He will be told off by the umpire first off.
Well, that is exciting. That is interesting. I love that. We have learned something. We have learned something today. Now, Anurag, thanks very much for those questions. We better get going because we've been an hour and 15. Arun, you were sensational as well. Thanks very much for being on the show. Now, if you guys out there listening want to be on the show, make sure you fill out the Google form and you can be like Anurag and Arun joining me live on Hog Out. We've had a great time. Thanks very much for the questions. And who's going to win tonight, Chennai or CRH?
Hopefully Chennai.
I will go with SRH. I will go with
SRH. Yep. SRH for me. All right. That's time. Hogging out. See you guys.